processing, intelligence, expertise.
What other doors could they close?
Hey, how much am I willing to give up? Stand commitment and are not committed to the struggle. Acquiescing to the struggle. They're committed.
Careful who you leave toeless.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. Moving around, got a lot of things going on, so I'm actually shooting from my phone this morning. Not going to be that long, so I'm shooting from my phone. Got a lot of things kind of moving at once, and so it was just easy to pick it up and start a live broadcast. I don't have any information in the description box outside of the title. I'm going to fill that in once I finish. So if you want to check back for any offers or any resources, good morning, Erica. Good morning, Kim. Definitely do that. Again, this is not going to be, an extended version of what I do. I'm going to probably move through this quicker than normal. But you know me, sometimes I get in a thing and I like to follow the energy and the revelations that are flowing through my mind at a time. So I may start out to do a 3-minute and end up doing a 20-minute. It's happened many times. It's just the way I flow, and I try not to fight that. When I'm required to honor a particular time frame, I do so. But when it's me and it's something I control, I can move. Those who want to jump in with me, jump in. Those who can't hang the whole time, understood. And we get what we can out of it. I want to encourage you. I get a lot of emails and messages in my inbox about being encouraged, inspired, empowered. If that's so, share it with those that you know need that. We're in a time that everybody can pretend to be okay, but we're not always okay. And to hear an encouraging word at a time when things aren't really going the way we would like for them to go goes a long way. I myself, I'm not impervious to the pushes and pulls of life. I go through things like anyone else, and just a word from someone can change the mood, change the sense of focus. And so I'm encouraging, if you know some people that may be going through something, share it. Not just today, but I'm talking about share it, and not just what I share, anything that can empower someone, anything that can elevate and lift someone, anything that can encourage someone and give them a sense of hope. We're in a time where we're facing some strong and insidious spiritual opponents and enemies. We're in spiritual warfare consistently and constantly. And if we're not careful, we'll get so caught up in what's being presented on the physical level and lose sight of the fact that we're waging war on a spiritual level, and we'll lose the battle because we're not waging the war in the proper way. So again, we really need to be in the mindset of encouragement. And there's something powerful that comes out of encouraging people. There's something powerful that comes out of speaking into the lives of people. There's something powerful that comes out of hoping for the best for people. That comes back to you. That's an energy you're putting out. But I just wanted to share that with you. Again, give it a few minutes after this video is over and come back, and there will be some information added for those of you who are watching it live. Those of you that are going to catch it on anywhere except Facebook, it'll already have the information in it. I'm not multi-streaming right now. I'm streaming solely to my followers and audience on Facebook. And it'll end up on a number of different channels, but this is where I'm at right now. All right. Good morning, Marley. Thank you for dropping in. Those of you who have followed me, consistency for time, thanks for just being there. Just seeing you guys pop up on a regular really motivates me and encourages me and gives me strength when things aren't necessarily falling in line the way that I would like for them to. Now, real quickly, I want to let you know something. We live in a world that is heavily dependent upon the energy we emit, the mindsets we maintain, which control the energy that we emit. What do I mean by that? Your thoughts have physicality. Your thoughts produce energy. Your beliefs have energy. The way you think, the way you speak have energy. All of what you're producing by way of thought and mental capacity produces energy. The energy has a frequency. The frequency is based on, you can say negativity and positivity if you want to, good or bad in any of those things. But what happens is when you are producing this energy, you are also serving as a magnet. What does that mean? That means like attracts like. Whatever energy you're emitting will draw to it like energy. If you're in a negative capacity, anger, fear, anxiety, bitterness, jealousy, envy, any of those, you're operating below 200 hertz on the hertz scale. And that's low frequency. And you're going to attract people, things, situations that are on that level. You cannot be on a high level, on a low level, and attract high things. You're attracting to you as a magnet the state of mind you're in your thoughts, in your speech, in your expectations, and in your mindset towards your life and others. If you want to change it, you got to consistently get on a higher wavelength, a higher frequency, at or above 500 hertz. You're talking about love. You're talking about gratitude. You're talking about high expectations. You're talking about joy. You're talking about being able to pour into others. You talk that expression of gratitude, which comes at about 575 to 650 hertz. That place right there is an inoculant. If you go to the physical side of the words, you talk about pH balance, right? You're talking about what's acidic and what's alkaline. Where's the right balance that you want to be somewhere around 6.9 or higher. With some people, it's 7.3 or whatever. So you think of this the same way. If you get to an alkaline state where you're predominantly alkaline, obviously you can't be completely non-acidic, or there will be some processes that will actually produce problems. Some acid is necessary, but in the instance of this, you're talking about science is study producing empirical data that says that when you remain in an alkaline state, it's absolutely impossible to develop diseases. Diseases cannot live, illnesses and diseases and cannot live in an alkaline state. So you want to try to protect yourself from being in what's considered an acidic state. Same thing with the mental and spiritual, except we won't call it acidic, we'll call it toxic. When you're functioning in a level of toxicity on a consistent basis, you're going to produce toxic results. You're going to attract toxic people. You're going to have a toxic environment, which is going to impact your physical health, your mental, emotional health, and ultimately create these expectations that follow suit. What do? What I found is gratitude is the great equalizer. Gratitude, when you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be jealous. When you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be envious. When you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be fearful. When you're in a state of gratitude, the gratefulness that comes out of that is the gateway to the abundance of all the things you have. The problem is that we are so independent upon our issues and circumstances that we're in a place of gratitude for a moment. And then the very next thing that happens, we tee off. I see myself doing it in traffic. I'm good. I'm really thinking. And matter of fact, most of my time when I'm riding, especially by myself, I'll have the music down. And I'm just in my thoughts and I'm thinking. All it takes is the right person at the wrong time to cut me off. And for a moment, I go there. Now, the good thing is I'm able to pull myself back and get back into it. But that's something that you have to be aware of. How often are you jumping out, even if you are creating a state of gratitude? How long are you jumping out of that state of gratitude? And how often are you jumping out of that state of gratitude because of certain things that are going on around you at a certain given time? You have to learn that you have the power to change that situation if you remain steadfast and focused on where your mindset is. That gratefulness and gratitude, I'm telling you, when you are grateful, it opens the gateway for more things to come in for you to be grateful for. But when you allow yourself to be pulled out of it, all of a sudden you get what you expect. I've said this over and over again. God meets you at the level of your expectations. And so when you see things start to happen, it's because somewhere in your thinking, you've actually started to expect some of these things to happen. God meets you at your expectations. You are allowing your fear of something. I read somewhere where Jim Carrey said, one of the things, what did he say? I'm going to read it verbatim. He says that so many of us choose our paths out of fear disguised as practicality. And that's an expectation. The fear is the result of an expectation of something bad happening, something undesirable happening. And we tend to react. When you react to fear, you actually create a void or a vacuum that pulls in things that will respond to that fear. You're attracting things to you that are literally going to feed the fear. You've got to be able to understand that if you are in mind connected to God, then you're connected to the solution. You're connected to the answer. You're connected to all of the possibilities of what infinite power represents. Understand me. Infinite power produces absolutely any and everything you could possibly desire. But what are you expecting? See, the possibilities mean absolutely nothing if you're not fixated on the possibilities. There's nobody that has more of a right to living life at the highest level than you. There's not this list of people who deserve to live a certain life and then those who have suffering as a lot in life. No, absolutely not. But you got to get your mind focused on what you know you deserve, not what you don't. Because what you focus on, you feel. And what you feel consistently, you attract. I've seen this work for me on both sides. I've seen me attract some things that are exceptional and extraordinary, and I've seen me attract things that have been destructive and disruptive in my life. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, what are you going to do? Something happens out of your control. How you respond to it is going to determine what the next thing is. If you sit up and look at it and you go, here we go. Oh my God, here we go. Something else is coming. You open the gateway to negativity by visiting and hanging out in it. But when you decide, you know what, despite this moment, I'm going to rise. Despite the darkness, I'm going to be a light on a hill. Despite every difficulty, I'm going to stand trusting God to honor the promise. Despite, that's how people win, not in the absence of struggle, but despite it. And to the point that you rise above it. You don't succumb to the struggle. You don't succumb to the idea of suffering. You don't give in to it. You don't accept it. You rise above it. Now, as I get ready to shut this down, I wish I could tell you that it's simple and it's easy. It is simple. It ain't easy. It's simple. You sit up and you set your mind and your heart for gratitude. And you make up in your mind, no matter what happens today, I'm going to continue to expect extraordinary. I'm going to continue to expect exceptional. I'm going to continue to expect. If I were to look back at my life, 2012 moving into 2013. If I were to look back and look at where I was then, how far I had fallen from the apex of where I have lived at life. I mean, flat on my back, nothing. And if I would have lived in that, if I would have accepted that, if I would have thought that to be my lot in life, the things that I have accomplished since then would not be. The impact that I have had would not be. The ability to see so far beyond where I'm at to where I'm going would not have developed. And I would not be, and the world would not be a better place because of what it is I do. It's simple. You cannot let a moment define you for life. You cannot do it. I'm telling you from experience. It doesn't look good when you're in it. I can remember it vividly, what it felt like. But I had this one promise I made to God. A lot of people get in things and they get to praying. Deliver me. And I've told you before, you can't pray to God to deliver you from the giants he sent you to slay. That's not how this thing works. This isn't about comfort. This is about character. This is about character. And we don't like character building exercises, because the one thing God revealed to me when I was going through a 5-year process where I knew I was losing my father, my great grandfather, but my adopted father, Psy.D. Wallace. God began to show me something that I have learned that allows me to get through very difficult moments, because I remember praying so ferociously to God to spare my grandfather, to bring me out of the hurt and the pain of just knowing I was losing him, and sparing me of that. And I can remember in no audible response, but so much more clearer than having heard it audibly, him saying, I won't take you out of it, but I will get you through it. I'm like, no. And I remember doing what a lot of people who grew up in the background that I grew up in Christian, starting to quote scriptures and call God on promises and thinking that was going to force the hand. And again, God said to me, no. Again, not audibly, but it was clearer than that. I mean, it was like I'm literally hearing from God in a thing that's so pure that it's beyond hearing audibly. It's hearing spiritually. I'm telling you something that I can testify to now. Pay attention to what I'm getting at. I'm not a quitter. So I heard you say no, but I'm like that 3-year-old that you tell no and they keep coming back. So I go back again. No, this is what I need from you right now. And then it came to me. Said, you live in a culture that's so engrossed in comfort that you can't see the thing that's happening now. You are concerned about your comfort, but I'm concerned about your character. I never forgot that conversation I had with God. That when those difficult moments come up, this is a character building moment. And if I try to skate around it, I only prolong the development of what God is doing in my life at that moment. I don't become fixated on it. I don't come to a point to where I like it, but I understand that it's taking me somewhere. And I never will forget that. I never will forget that moment where I'm like, I don't want to lose my father. And God says, I'm not concerned with your comfort. I'm not as concerned with your comfort as I am with your character. And character can't be built in comfort. What am I saying? I'm telling you that you don't identify with the struggle, but you prepare to push through it, because on the other side of the pain, on the other side of the fear, on the other side of the disappointment, there's something that makes everything you've been through worth it. I tell people, and I've said this many times before, when you truly start to become acquainted with your purpose, it will explain your pain. Life isn't meant to be a hop, skip, and a jump and all of that. Life is about fulfillment. Life is about rising and meeting the challenges of life, not folding because life don't lay down for you. I don't expect it to. I'm going to rise to meet the challenge. I'm not going to quit. If I'm breathing, I'm still in the fight. That's what I want to encourage every person that listens to this or watches this. You're still in the fight. If you're breathing, you're still in the fight. If you're breathing, you still have hope. Tap into your source. Trust your source. Trust that this God of love is not taking you through some sadistic reality for the sole purpose of enjoying your pain. That's not the God that I am aware of. That's not the God I engage. That's not how God gets down. God has something for you, but you can't get so caught up in the traveling that you lose sight of the destination. Because I am a witness that if you stay firm, that if you make up in your mind that you're not going to give up on God, God's not going to give up on you. And that if you stay firm, if you stay committed, I'm telling you, it's when you can't see it at all that the greatest work is being done if you stand fast. That's something that I can truly testify to. That's what faith is. Faith is the evidence of unseen things. If you can see it, that doesn't require faith. Faith comes into play when you can't see it, but you still know it. That's what faith is. And faith exercises itself. Faith flips the normal narrative. I'm going to say this and I'm done. Faith flips the normal narrative. You're like, what does that mean? Most people say, I'll believe it when I see it. But faith says you'll see it when you believe it. That's what it is. It's that simple. Stop looking at what's going on around you and trust what your heart is telling you based off of what God has planted there. God has planted it. Are you letting the things around you deter you from what you already should know? On that note, I'm going to get out of here. Look. Yeah, Kim, I know. Trust me, I know what it feels like to be tired. I know what it feels like to be weary. I know what it feels like to be tired, weary, and wounded. I mean, just beat up. I know what it feels like to sit there and literally just wish somebody cared enough about you to pick up the phone and check on you. I know what that feels like. So that's why I don't take for granted having a family that loves me. I don't take for granted having someone that cares about my health. I don't take for granted having somebody that's literally, truly, authentically concerned about me, because I remember that place where I felt completely alone and just wanted to know that somebody cared. I know that feeling. But here's the thing. God honored the promise of my purpose. God honored the promise of my purpose. This isn't religion talking to you. This is experience and relationship. This is something that's unique and special. My relationship with God is not your relationship with God. That's something you work out between you and God. That's what makes it special. That's what serves your uniqueness. That's where you have to be willing to stand up and push through those dark moments. I will never leave you, nor will I forsake you. I can testify to that. I can testify to that. Finally, what will happen is, if you allow it, your circumstances will suppress and hide your progress. And you don't want that to happen. Trust, push forward, establish, and understand like attracts like. If you don't like what you're getting, you got to raise your level. And you've got to learn how to raise your level even when you don't feel like it. So much of what I've done in my life from a child has come when I made a move and I didn't feel like it. It just wasn't resonating. Wasn't no evidence that what I was moving on was going to happen. But I didn't give in. I moved on it anyway. That's when the supernatural happens. Where something literally comes out of the air. Live your life on full. Don't let life shake you up so much that you lose sight of the precious nature of your gifts, of your promise, of what's possible. God designed you for greatness. God does some things through you that the world needs. But you got to believe in you too. And it's not going to always come in the way you want it to. It's not going to always come when you want it to. But you can't stop, because truth is truth. Truth is truth. And I'm telling you from experience, God delivers. And because of that reason, you will deliver too. Stay true. I'm out of here. You guys have an awesome day. thanks, for putting up with the movement and all that. I will momentarily add some information to the description box on this video so that you can take advantage of some of the things we have going on at the Visionetics Institute. But I just had to grab that camera and move fast. I didn't have time to get everything set up the way I normally do through my normal setup. So that's that. You guys have an awesome day. I'm out.
Come ready or not. Frank Ocean made this record hot.
From a conceptual perspective, people talk
Real
about
talk,
it
I ain't throwing shots.
all of the elements
Certain
they
things I
think,
shouldn't say.
intelligence,
Shit can bring me to a stop.
expertise.
What other doors could they close?
Like, how much am I willing to give up and commitment, and are
You don't
not
mind
committed
being
to the
soulless.
struggle, acquiescing to the
Climbing to
struggle,
the top.
they're committed.
Careful who you leave.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in right now. Thanks, first of all. Second of all, I just need to really iterate the fact that we need your help. We need your support right now. We are pushing to hit a goal of $25,000 by the end of this week. That, if we hit that goal, it'll help us cover our goals for the first quarter. It'll help us consistently continue to do what we're doing with Black Men Lead, Restoring Ghetto's Forgotten Daughters, our new program providing mental health services and resources, and so much more that we've been doing consistently. Again, we need your support like we've never needed it before. Thank you in advance. You have a great day.